In today's video, I'm going to be attempting to build a competitive under-23 limited lineup with just £500. If you're excited for the video, please do leave it a like, subscribe if you're new, and let's get straight into things. So we're going to be using the Concepts lineup builder. Going to have to start with the goalkeeper first. I don't think anybody likes buying goalkeepers on Sorare, if we're completely honest. But we're going to be making this team just European only, so just Champion and just Challenger Europe, even though Asia and America prices have dipped a lot right now, probably because the European season is about to start. But like I said, goalkeepers, it's not going to be fun to buy. They're going to cost probably the most out of the 5 players that we are going to try and buy today. And naturally, being the younger keeper in a team, if you start making a few mistakes, chances are if there's a decent number 2, they're probably going to get a chance, if you've made a few mistakes in a row. So yeah, you've always got to be cautious with goalkeepers. There's nobody really that I'm liking the look of right now. Most of these players at the top of the list are just goalkeepers that played a few games towards the end of last season. They're not actually the number 1 for their team, apart from Mamadashvili and Costa, I would say. Lennart Mosa could be a good shout. He's only £100 right now, and to be fair, he is still injured. But I don't fancy UPenn to be that great this season. And right now, Nuruddin is in goals, who is also under 23. So yeah, the whole point of this video is for me to build a team that could start next week, if that makes sense. And Mosa is obviously injured, so I'm not going to go with him, just because I feel like that's a little bit unfair. Okoye looks set to be the number 1 at Watford, but that has now changed apparently. So we won't be going for him. Savonov is a decent shout, £300 floor. There's a big chunk of our £500 budget out the way though. Maximiano now plays for Lazio and should be the number 1. Muric has moved to Burnley, so he's another option. Jay Gorta might get the gloves at Ajax, but there is a few older, more experienced goalkeepers competing for that number 1 spot with him. So again, there's risk there. Gaten Cook is always one that I do like going for. His floor price is only £172. He is the starting goalkeeper for Mechelen in the Belgium league. People seem to not rate him that highly. I think he's okay. I don't think he's great. But for the price, I think it is a very good option. Donnarumma, obviously way over budget. Lomaev is actually a decent shout, to be fair. Only £200. If we can look at his scores here, playing in the Russian league, of course. They're not insane, but he did get quite a few clean sheets last season. He hasn't got any so far this season. They lost 3-0 to Zenit, and they lost 4-2 to Orenburg. So not the best of starts for the season. But to be completely honest, he is definitely in with a shout as well at £200. I have to definitely keep that in mind. DH is a shout. He's only £159 floor price. Of course, he's playing for a bad team, but that's the issue in Sorare. He was on loan there last season. He's on loan there again this season in the Belgium league. They're probably going to get slapped every week, to be fair. Unfortunately, even though he's a very good goalkeeper, in my opinion, he will probably be conceding 3+ goals every week for the most part. So yeah, we don't really want to be taking that route if possible. Philip Menzel is cheap, £111. He is a starting goalkeeper in the Austrian league. Scores just aren't great, though. 19 last weekend against Last. They lost 3-1. I don't know. I just feel like even though he is he is the cheapest option, I just feel like his scores are going to really reflect that. Right now, it's out of Lomaev and Gaten Cook. If I'm completely honest, there's nothing really down here, I don't think. Yeah, the pool of under-23 goalkeepers isn't really ideal. There's not tons to choose from at a budget, So I think I am going to go with Lomaev, to be completely honest. Even though he's a little bit more expensive than Cook, I just feel like there's less risk of him losing his spot. This is not financial advice. This is just my opinion. So yeah, we're going to throw him into our team as our starting goalkeeper. And yeah, we're going to move on to the defender position. So we've already spent effectively £200. If we wanted to just buy this player right now on the market, he is available for £205 is what the floor price means. Okay, defender time. Let's go in and see who we can get as a defender. So we won't be shopping at the top of this list. Upamecano, Ignacio, Schlotterbeck, way over budget. Okay, again, nothing around here within budget. Adiashil, £162 isn't that bad, but still not ideal. Tapsoba for 92. I kind of don't mind that, to be fair. Julian Timber, way out of budget. Todibo doesn't have a limited card. Divyev for £69 isn't bad. I kind of don't mind that. But we'll keep scrolling for now, see if anything pops out to us. Pavlovic, if he does get a starting position at Salzburg, he could be very good, to be fair. Malo Gusto's £130. Bit too expensive for us. Kamichev is actually a decent shout, playing for Ural. They concede a ton of goals, which is an issue, but his scores, even though they do concede a lot of goals, is still quite good, to be fair. L40 a 50. He's got himself a 66 last weekend. 51, 48, 68. So, yeah, nothing crazy, but very, very consistent considering he's playing on a poor team. As you can see here, they lost 3-0, they lost 2-0, and he's still scoring pretty well. So, yeah, that could be a shout, to be fair. It would maintain our Russian contingency so far, with obviously the goalkeeper being from Russia. Definitely a shout. We'll definitely keep that in mind in terms of value. We want to try and keep our defender price pretty low, to be fair, because between him, the midfielder, and the forward, chances are the midfielder and the forward are going to be A, one more expensive, and B, on average, those midfielders and forwards are going to score you more points. You want your defender just to be pretty consistent, basically, is what I kind of look for. And of course, we're going to try and do that without spending a ton of money. So he is definitely in with a shout. Lacroix is a decent option as well for Wolfsburg. I kind of don't mind that. I like to look at Sam Bukema. L5 of 65, L40 of 46. He's £80, so not as cheap as we'd probably like him to be. But his scores of late have been really good. They've been playing in either Conference League qualifiers. They beat Tulsa City 1-0, got an 80. So, he's playing against a nobody effectively. But it was still a very good score. And I think he will continue that on for the duration of the season, to be fair. He is 23, so you're only going to get a year out of his under-23 eligibility. But I think that could be a really, really solid shout. He is £80 though, like I said. So it basically leaves us with just over £220 to get 3 more players. So I'm going to keep scrolling for now, just because he is a little expensive, but it could be worth it with the scores he might get us this season. Delcroix could be a really good option. He does love an injury though, but he started off really well for Anderlecht this season. Looks to be a starting centre-back for them. Hilgers, £70. I kind of don't mind either. Okay, we do definitely have options. It's just whether or not we want to push the boat out and go for an £80 Bukema. I do like Kamichev as well. I mean, we could just go with 2 defenders in this team, just to lower costs, basically. So, you know what? I'm going to do so. I'm going to go Kamichev as the defender, and then for the extra, I'm already going to lock in Bukema, just because I don't want to be spending a ton on another midfielder or forward. And I just really want this team to be able to compete for prizes. I'm not saying it's going to be competing for podiums. I want it to be in and around the prizes every game week is the goal. And playing 2 defenders for me is like the safest option, where if you're going with 2 forwards, you're effectively asking for 2 goals every game week. If you're going with 2 defenders, for me, you're just asking for, well, A, you'd like them both to have clean sheets. Then if not, then you're just hoping for them to defend well, effectively, instead of, like I said, having 2 forwards. 2 midfielders could be optimal as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against that. But 2 defenders is probably the cheapest way to do this. Okay, floor price of £329. We've got basically £171 to go for a midfielder and a forward. This is going to be interesting. I'm not sure how easy this is going to be to stay within budget, but we're going to try it. So we basically need, it depends, we could just do like a £70 midfielder and a £100 forward, vice versa. Something along the lines of that is basically what we're going for. Habib Keita had a really good game on his debut for Kornik on the weekend, so that's why he's at the top of this, L5 of 80, because he's only played 1 game. We're not going to be buying Pedri's or Enzo Fernandez's or Gerson. That's not going to work. Lewis Ferguson's just moved to Bologna. He's very cheap, but I'm afraid that, his scores aren't going to be as good as they once were. Dylan Levitt could be a very good shout as a bit of a differential. Playing for Dundee again this season, he's £82. That could actually, he's just jumped out at me straight away. He probably will be taking set pieces as well, I imagine. So his AA game should be really, really solid. L40 of 55. Zorgan could also be another good shout around the same price. He scored really well last weekend for Charleroi in the Belgium League. Kamara at £82. I know he's going to be playing in the Premier League now, but I kind of don't mind that. Spezien has been really good the last 2 games. 2 decisives, £103. Not bad, but a little bit too much probably. Utkin's been really good as well since the Russian league has started, £115 floor. Lubicic could be a decent shout at £93. I don't mind that, but he's just a little bit inconsistent for me. Kind of surprised why I guess Opta have changed Sergio Gomez to a midfielder because last season he does only have a defender card right now. So I'm guessing this season's card's going to be a midfielder, which is interesting to see. Glebov could be a decent shout at £48. Got an assist last week. Again, a Russian league player. There seems to be a lot of value in Russian league players right now with obviously the uncertainty and stuff. But right now they're playing, as normal. So, okay, I'm not really seeing too much else down this list, to be honest. Yari Sharon at £148. I think he's going to have an absolute belt of a season, but that's just way too much money to spend on a midfielder. It just allows us to get like a £30 forward, which is just not going to work, really, is it? Guendouzi, 123, not bad. Tete, 112. Kone, £62, could be decent, actually. Sadil, I don't mind that. £46, that could be a shout, But do we push the boat out and go for a Dylan Levitt? Of course, he is a Welshman, like myself, so I feel obliged to back one of our boys at £82. You know what? We're going to go in for him. He's going to be our designated midfielder. Playing for Dundee United. I think he will be taking set pieces again this season. He's going to, and he should be the heart of that team, really, in midfield. £82. It's just not the end of the world. And that leaves us with £89 to buy a forward card. So we'll see how realistic that is. We don't want to be getting anyone. We don't want to be just getting anybody. We want somebody that we believe is going to score goals this season. Right now, it's not looking great in terms of value for money. All these players are way too over our budget. Joe Perot would have been nice, but he doesn't have limited cards, which is a little bit annoying. Still not seen anyone below £100 really yet that we can really shout about. Yeah, this could be tough. This could be really tough. And as I say that, Jorgen Larsson just pops up on my radar. £59. If he doesn't move from Groningen, I think he's going to be really, really good again this season, to be honest. He scored a load of goals last year in the Eredivisie. He is definitely an option for us. And he comes in under budget as well. So we'll definitely keep that in the back pocket for now. Ueda's just moved to Cercle Bruges. Is limited £61. I don't fancy them to be great this season. And equally, I don't fancy him to really score that many goals. Rabbi Matondo just recently moved to Rangers. That could be a decent shout, but £162 is way too much for our budget. Still nothing popping up right now for me. Fernando's been excellent so far for Salzburg. £229 just isn't going to work for us. Madueke, Ramos. There's some really nice forwards here. They're just way too over budget, to be fair. Thiago Thomas, actually, at £54 is somebody that I like and I think could be worth taking a punt on, Back on loan at Stuttgart this season. Scored a few goals in pre-season. Got their number 10 shirt as well at Stuttgart. I watched some of his highlights yesterday, actually, and he kind of surprised me, to be fair. It seems like he seems to be looking really sharp. He scored a few goals last season towards the end of the Bundesliga for Stuttgart. But yeah, I think £54, that is definitely within budget. Timothy Weah at £57 isn't bad. Is he going to start every game? Probably not. Alexander Isak, Jesus, £86. That, I know he went off the boil a little bit last season, but that's not a bad price at all. I don't think. Okay, still scrolling. Nothing's screaming out to me, to be honest. Ruta at £77 is not bad. Mateus Cunha at £58. If he starts, could be an absolute bargain, but I'm just not convinced he's going to start every game with the Diego Simeone rotation of his forwards. Benjamin Sesko, £352. That is not happening. Okay, we're in the pits a little bit now. I can't really see us getting too much value out of these players. But as I say that, Abada for £76. Again, do I think he's going to be a nailed-on starter every week? No. But do I think he can be decisive most weeks, coming off the bench? Probably. Is that what we want? Probably not, but I don't mind that £76. But we do kind of want somebody that's going to start every game. Ideally, Lucas Nemeka at £70. Ooh, I know his stats aren't looking great there, but there's definitely a player in there that can score goals. Like we've seen, he scored goals previously in the Bundesliga, scored a couple after his injury. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a decent price. I kind of don't mind that £70. Okay, we'll probably start scrolling back up now. So yeah, Lucas Nemeka is definitely within a shout. Abada is definitely within a shout as well, but I just fear that he's going to come off the bench too often. And like I said, I want somebody that's going to start most games, if not all games. But that obviously does come with having to score goals. You know, as a forward, you're not going to start every game if you don't score goals. It's just as simple as that. Ruta is definitely with a shout. I don't love that option. Isak, like I said, £86 isn't terrible. Can he kick on from his previous seasons? Hopefully. Timothy Weah was in with a shout, wasn't he? Thiago Thomas for £54. I don't mind that at all. I think I'm going to stick my neck out and say that Jorgen Larsson is probably our best bet. And that only applies if he stays at Groningen. There has been rumours that he's going to move. Whether those rumours come to fruition, I don't know. We're just going to bank on those rumours not being true and him staying for another season. And I do really like the look of him. He scored a load of goals last season. There's some nice peaks as well, 81, 75, 76s. Some nice dark green scores, mainly 60s. But as a forward, we're just going to take those, to be fair. Like I said, we're not shopping in the upper echelon of under 23 forward. So, you know, you can't expect unbelievable scores. But like I said, if he stays at Groningen, I think we got a really, really good forward on our hands. As a second option, if you didn't want to take the risk of him moving, then there is players like Thiago Thomas that I would look at, like Timothy Weah. They're not going to set the world alight, I don't think, but they're definitely going to be scoring goals in their given leagues. How many, I don't know. Isak as well, definitely within a shout. Ruta, Cunha, there's definitely a few cheap-ish forwards out there that you could take a punt on. But yeah, I'm going to go with Jorgen Larsson. And yeah, that kind of completes our under-23 limited team under £500. It came in at 471, and that's just the floor price. You could technically make bids on these players and probably get this team for maybe 450, 440 if you were pretty lucky. Do we have any standout names in world football? No. But could these players score pretty well on Sorare? Yes. And that's kind of what it's all about. For me, buying players that, you know, aren't the most popular to win players that are pretty popular, effectively. Yeah, I like the look of the team. It's well balanced. 2 defenders, forward, midfield, obviously on our goalkeeper. We've got a Russian defence and goalkeeper. We've got a Scottish League midfielder. Hopefully an Eredivisie forward. And then another Eredivisie defender. So, yeah, for me, I think this team does well. Does it win prizes every week? Probably not. Most lineups aren't going to win prizes every week. Will it win prizes in a given season? Yes, I'd be confident in saying that this team does win prizes. How many? I don't know. It's very hard to say. What sort of tiers could this team pull in prize-wise? Again, very hard to say. Do I think it has the potential to podium? Yes, any team effectively has the chance to podium. Do I see this team competing every week for a podium? Probably not. But for that type of budget, I do think you would win prizes with that team in the under-23 limited lineup. That's just my opinion. It's not financial advice, but that is just my opinion and what I foresee happening with this team for this upcoming season. If you did enjoy the video, please do leave it a like. And if you are new around here, please do subscribe. If you haven't yet signed up to Sorare and you are planning on doing so, there's a link in the description of this video that will get you 1 free limited card once you've purchased 5 from the new card auctions on Sorare. Hope you have a wicked day. Have a great game week, and I shall see you guys in the next video.